Arizona State University.
A heartfelt thank you to all who pledged their support during our recent membership drive and having your generous contribution matched by Newman's Own Foundation. If you missed out, don't worry, it's not too late. Newman's Own Foundation wants Arizona PBS to finish the fiscal year on a strong note, so all donations made through the end of June will be matched dollar for dollar up to $50,000. Here's your chance to help Arizona PBS while having your donation doubled by Newman's Own Foundation. Donate today, only a few more days left. Your support will ensure that we continue our mission of bringing quality public programming to Arizona. Thank you.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World.
Find more ways to explore at pbs.org/anywhere.
Coming soon to Arizona PBS.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, Vintage Hot Springs.
Oh my goodness!
Oh man!
Oh, good.
Which values went up, down, or stayed the same? Find out next time on Antiques Roadshow.
Monday night at 7 on Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Deanne Griebel, now with Moores & Cabot Investments, serving investors since 1890, proudly supports quality programming on 8 Arizona PBS, 480-725-9602.
I'm David Goldstein, owner of Biltmore Loan and Jewelry. We buy or loan on upscale assets. We have over 30 years of experience in determining values of automobiles, jewelry, art, collectibles, and antiques. For more information and appointments, biltmoreloan.com.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
It's not just a comfort. Sometimes it's a matter of life and death. The struggle for low-income residents in need of AC repair and how you can help.
Big names looking to push immigration reform, how their efforts could help reduce the farm labor shortage in Arizona.
And Title IX turns 45 tomorrow. The U.S. has made strides in gender equality, but some think there's still progress to be made.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Annika Walters.
And I'm Tyler Paley. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a new report that says Arizona is ranked 18th in the U.S. for energy efficiency policy and programs. But in Tucson, massive cuts to some of these programs have left local businesses in limbo. I met with a Tucson architect who is making a call to action. Hank Kryzik is a Tucson resident and a parishioner at our Mother of Sorrows Church.
It's not only a place that I volunteer at, but it's a place where I worship and have community with.
So it's no surprise that Kryzik, a loyal member of the congregation for the last 30 years, is part of the team trying to make the church more energy efficient. But just days ago, he and other Tucson businesses received notice that Tucson Electric Power was no longer accepting applications for its energy efficiency incentive programs.
Now that these programs are potentially being cut, it's disappointing.
The cuts, which total about $6 million, come in the heart of the summer, when efficient energy usage is at the top of the priority list for local businesses that look to keep the costs down. But Tucson Electric Power says it simply doesn't have the funds to accept more applications for these programs.
There's a limited budget that's paid for essentially through a surcharge that all of our customers pay. And the total funding available this year is less than it was last year.
But Kryzik and other ratepayers think energy efficiency efforts deserve more attention and more funding. Our Mother of Sorrows was one of more than 36 local organizations that signed a letter sent to the Arizona Corporation Commission, asking the agency to revisit the rollback of funding.
Knowing that the utility company had these programs available and that each one of us that sit in the pews are ratepayers, that we're investing into that, and that programs are being taken away is a little disappointing.
But Barrios says this isn't permanent. TEP will file a new plan with the Corporation Commission after January 1st.
I guess we would offer some reassurance that energy efficiency is not something that we're turning away from.
Kryzik's church had an expensive lighting project planned prior to the cuts, but he says they're still moving forward with it.
Our return on investment may not be as soon, but we're going to continue to try to reduce our consumption.
In 2016, for every dollar invested in energy efficiency, the return was $2.70. The field has also created over 39,000 jobs across the state.
Tonight, there are heat advisories for much of the state. Imagine if your central air goes out, and to make it worse, you do not have the resources or the income to fix it. Cronkite News reporter Patricio Espinosa shows us there are programs to help, but they're in need of desperate funds.
This is a thermostat. They just put it 2 years ago. But right now, the thermostat is 88 degrees, and I set it at 80, but right now it's 88. And by tonight, it's going to be like 98 or 96.
With 100 degrees and more average temperatures this week, Socorro Carvajal has no idea how she may be able to fix her central air not working now for days. And now, the bad news.
So it has to have a new compressor?
Yeah. And that means 76-year-old Socorro on a fixed Social Security income will now need several $1,000s to pay for her new system. Maricopa County, Phoenix, and the city of Mesa have programs that help. Waitlist funds are limited. Katie Martin helps lead a new pilot program in Arizona intended to help repair or replace air conditioning systems.
50% of those that we've served already are elderly or disabled. We had an elderly woman in Mesa who had no air conditioning.
But as much as they try, the pilot program has so far only been able to help 4 families, and the summer has just begun. At about 117 degrees right now, you can feel the heat coming out of the compressor. These units are only supposed to work up to 95 degrees, and with the weather the way it is these days, there's no question about it. The calls for help will keep coming in.
Okay, thank you.
Calls like the one Socorro Carvajal has been making the last couple of days, but so far, not help. And so for now, all she can do is wait and somehow stay cool. Miss Socorro, when I came in, you have this towel around you. Can you show me that? Show me, what is it for?
It's wet, and I keep it wet to keep me cool. I cut one towel, and then I have another towel that I put in my torso, so I can be cool, because the air cools it off, but it dries it real fast too, you know. So.
In Phoenix, Patricio Espinosa, Cronkite News.
And tonight there's a way you can take action and help. This not-for-profit pilot program is in need of donations, and you can visit the Arizona Community Action Association website at azcaa.org to make a contribution. And if you need any more reasons to keep your AC running, Tyler Fingert has your first look at our weather. Tyler?
Yeah, Annika, you're definitely right about that. Across the entire state, watches and warnings for excessive heat, because it is very, very hot out there. You want to make sure you stay hydrated. Right now across the valley, some temperatures as we head into our later o'clock hours. 10 o'clock, 110 in Phoenix, 109 in Maricopa, and 108 in Buckeye. I'll have your full 7-day forecast in just about 15 minutes.
Leaders in technology are now voicing their opinions on politics and immigration reform through the advocacy group Forward.us. Cronkite News reporter Sunena Tandon is in the broadcast center to tell us how they're helping immigrants in the valley.
Forward.us is fighting to secure our borders, develop a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, and create a simple employment verification system. I was able to go to their press conference in Phoenix.
FWD.US, an organization founded by technology leaders such as Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, has recently launched a chapter in Arizona to push for immigration reform. A key part of FWD.US is changing entrepreneur visas to make a clearer and simpler process for immigrants to begin their own businesses. Immigrants currently make up about 28% of entrepreneurs in the United States, according to the Harvard Business Review. Immigration reform would also help reduce the farm labor shortage in Arizona.
We need immigrant labor to perform the things we need to have done.
A part of FWD.US is sharing the stories of American immigrants, such as Maria Gonzalez. Gonzalez is currently working on her bachelor's in social work. Due to DACA, an executive order by ex-President Barack Obama, Gonzalez can use her degree to serve her community despite her residency status.
Mexico is my birth. Holy Land. It is not my home. I know nothing about it. I'm basically American, just not technically on paper.
Although there has been fear that the Trump administration will revoke DACA, over 17,000 work permits have been given to undocumented immigrants within the first 3 months of 2017.
By passing common sense immigration reform, we will grow the economy, we will create American jobs, and we will strengthen the thing that ties us all together, which is that immigrant heritage.
According to Stephen Gross, the chief actuary of USA's Social Security Administration, 3.2 million jobs would be created by 2024 if we passed immigration reform. In the broadcast center, Sunena Tandon, Cronkite News.
This week marks the 45th anniversary of Title IX. I spoke with women in sports to find out how much progress has been made.
45 years ago, when Title IX was passed under the Nixon administration, the focus was on education, not sports. The bill's purpose was to outlaw discrimination in the education programs based on sex and gender. Sports historian Victoria Jackson at Arizona State University said athletics was not in the initial blueprint.
People working in the department were looking to develop policy guidelines and regulations. They realized pretty early on that sport would be included because in the United States, sport is part of the education system.
After its passing in 1972, women were encouraged to enter higher education and became eligible for collegiate athletic scholarships. Vice President of the Phoenix Mercury and Sons, Ann Myers Drysdale, was the first woman to get a full-ride athletic scholarship in 1974 to play basketball at UCLA.
I also believe in my heart that if I don't go to UCLA, myself or women's basketball and women's sports doesn't get as much attention.
Looking back on the progress she's made, Myers Drysdale said Title IX comes up short, especially in coaching positions.
We have found that before Title IX, about 85% of the jobs coached for girls and young women were held by women. Since Title IX, 90% of those jobs are held by men.
Senior Vice President for the Diamondbacks, Nona Lee, said the divide in sports is still glaring.
But on the other hand, some people say, well, now more than 50% of college attendees are women, so in that respect, it's done its job, and so that's where the danger is.
According to a study released by the NCAA, Division I athletic departments continue to spend twice the money on men's teams, though participation for the women is on the rise. In athletics here in the Valley, we're commemorating the Sun Devil legend.
Coming up on Cronkite News, we celebrate the life of ASU's most legendary football coach.
And we bring perspectives on the proposed health bill from Capitol Hill.
Fascinating.
You know, sometimes I wish I wasn't so beloved.
Wow.
Baby, I'm howling for you.
It's literally one for the history books.
Enjoy.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse. TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
Senate Republicans unveiled a draft of their long-awaited plan to replace Obamacare today. And the 142-page bill quickly brought mixed reactions inside and protests outside the Capitol. Cronkite News reporter Noelle Lilly is in Washington tonight for the reaction to the bill. Noelle.
Arizona senators were non-committal on the bill, which cuts Medicaid but keeps tax subsidies so that people can afford to buy insurance. Senator Jeff Flake said he's still reading through the bill, while Senator John McCain called it a step in the right direction. But if you ask protesters outside the Capitol today, they'll tell you it was a step in the wrong direction. Doctors and Democrats and people with disabilities all gathered around the Capitol today to voice their opposition to the Senate version of the American Health Care Act, sometimes known as Trump Care. These protests even led to some arrests. Many of the protesters said that if the new bill is passed, it will harm those with disabilities. Other protesters also included Arizona natives like Dr. Manzi Cotwell, who said Obamacare saves lives.
The Affordable Care Act is an excellent law and has increased access to care to millions of Americans, and we don't want that law to get lost. So we have a lot of patients that are coming in now with access to care that had a history of diabetes or history of cancer, history of asthma, whatever it might be, that would have been a barrier access to care prior.
Caldwell was among dozens of doctors who also shared their disapproval of Trump Care outside the Capitol. This group was led by Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell plans to have a vote on the bill next week, but Democrats swear that they will fight it until the end. Live in Washington, Noelle Lilly, Cronkite News.
The Breast Cancer Foundation Susan G. Komen has announced the end of its Arizona chapter. According to its directors, donations and event participation have slowed down over the years. The October Race for the Cure event has been canceled and registration fees will be refunded. The Arizona chapter was one of more than 100 nationwide. The foundation has been operating in the state for 24 years.
Former ASU football coach Frank Kush passed away earlier today at age 88. He left behind quite a mark on the Sun Devil community. Cronkite News reporter Danielle Lincecum is paying a visit to Sun Devil Stadium to commemorate Kush. Danielle.
I'm here next to Cush's statue, outside Frank Kush Field at Sun Devil Stadium, which was named in his honor in 1996, ensuring that his legacy will continue to live on. Kush arrived at ASU in 1958 and amassed a school record 176 wins in nearly 22 years. He led the team to 2 perfect seasons and 9 conference titles, and won 16 of the 21 battles against arch rival Arizona.
Arizona's Wildcats in the home windup.
U of A. It was a great rivalry. It's really great if you win more than you lose.
Kush represents the most successful era of Arizona State football and was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. But his career wasn't without controversy. He was fired in 1979 amid fallout regarding allegations that he punched a former punter and interfered with the university's investigation, but was acquitted 2 years later. ASU wasn't the end of his coaching career. He also coached in the NFL for 2 years with the Baltimore Colts and returned to Arizona to coach the USFL Arizona Outlaws. He remained a beloved figure in the Arizona State community and served as a special assistant to the athletic director from 2000 until his passing. In a statement today, ASU football coach Todd Graham said, "My thoughts and prayers are with the Kush family. It was a privilege to have known such a great coaching legend and man. His legacy will continue to be at the cornerstone of Arizona State football." Cronkite News, Danielle Lincecum.
The excessive heat warning is expected to stay with us over the weekend. Coming up on Cronkite News, we've got a high of 112 today, but can we expect to cool down? We will have the full forecast next.
And one way to stay cool this summer, shade. We'll show you an initiative that will help keep the temperature down and could save lives.
I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life now. All my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now. about now?
Officially from 36, and he hooks it in. Arizona State wins. Keeping one deep, and it is caught. Jalen Strong. Do you believe
it? With these hot summer temperatures, it can be tough to find a cool place outside, but adding some green can help. Cronkite News reporter Tyler Fingert shows us a nonprofit that is hoping to do just that.
The Nature Conservancy in Arizona, with the help of a nearly $125,000 grant from the Vitalist Health Foundation, hopes to cool hot neighborhoods in the valley using a variety of techniques, most notably plants. At a church in downtown Phoenix, a landscaping design has been providing an oasis to the area for years. Now, the Nature Conservancy of Arizona is hoping to replicate that on a larger scale.
If we scale this up and if we multiply the benefits, then we can have an even greater impact on the health of people.
Utilizing green space, shade awnings, and of course trees, the goal is to cool valley neighborhoods using a mostly natural approach, and it can even help improve the health of the residents.
Illnesses are exacerbated by heat, so a lot of those hospitalizations occur in areas where there is no vegetation and these kind of concrete jungles.
It's about 11 o'clock and the temperature outside is about 101 degrees, but on the pavement in the sun, it's reading 140. But when you walk into the shade, the temperature drops to about 105. A huge difference.
We're actually getting a cooler surface temperature here, and by some estimates, that's anywhere from 20 to 45 degrees cooler, the actual surface temperature, thanks to the shade of a tree.
A mostly natural approach with hopes of solving a bigger problem.
Our ultimate goal is really creating a mechanism for healthier community design.
The grant money could fund vegetation in 3 neighborhoods. The Nature Conservancy is still determining those locations. And let's take a look right now across the state, across the entire state, warnings and watches for excessive heat. Right now, let's take a look. The high temperature in the valley right now, 112, that was expected today. And right now across the state, 110 in Phoenix, and as you take a look up in Flagstaff, 87, 94 in the Grand Canyon. But the hottest part of the state, 113 in Lake Havasu City. And as we move to the valley, 108 in Buckeye, 109 in Goodyear, and as we go a little bit farther, a little bit south, 108 in Casa Grande. And through the rest of the, as it starts cooling down throughout the night, we'll end up getting about 104 in Phoenix at about 9 o'clock, and down in Casa Grande, 100. And as we take a look at your weekend forecast, 113 on Friday, 115 on Saturday. It goes up a little, then back down as the rest of the week into the rest of the work week, 108 by Thursday. Tyler Fingert, Cronkite weather.
Starting today, the Coconino National Forest is implementing more fire restrictions due to hot weather and abandoned campfires. Officials say they will ban the use of charcoal, wood stoves, and coal. These preventions will help keep campers safe as a fire is currently burning just miles south. And ASU alumni are taking their talents around the world.
One alumnus took his basketball skills. Coming up on Cronkite News, the story of a man who brought his family with him on his athletic journey overseas.
Heaven knows you're a dreamer. Don't hide it from anyone. Don't hide it from anyone. Hey, would you believe me if I said we are here for a reason now? This is our life.
With the 2017 NBA draft today, several players are wondering where they'll end up. With only 60 picks available, many players are anxious about the future of their careers. Today, Cronkite News reporter Kelly Broderick gave us a look at a former ASU player who extended his journey abroad.
I lived in Russia, France, Ukraine, Estonia, Romania, Poland and Austria, and Poland and Koszalin.
Curtis Millage has taken his kids along for the ride in his globe-trotting basketball journey. He became a star overseas after wrapping up one of the best two-year basketball careers in ASU history. In his 14 years playing abroad, he said the most important thing isn't the stats or records, it's having his family alongside him.
When you know you can wake up to the people you love and, make you smile when you have a bad game or you have a bad day, that's the great feeling.
Millage's wife, 3-year-old daughter, and 8-year-old son travel with him during the season. Millage met his wife Monica here at ASU. When they both graduated in 2003, they had to talk about the idea of playing overseas. While the decision at the time seemed difficult, they both agreed that this opportunity may never come again.
Well, there are stories of women who've just been like, no, we're not doing this anymore, it's too hard, and I could never do that to Curtis. He loves basketball, he loves playing, and I think it's important for our kids to see outside of here what the rest of the world is like and being able to go everywhere, and even places that most people wouldn't choose to go.
My kids get to see all this history, and I try to tell them and explain to them every day, and my son's starting to realize it more. My daughter getting it a little bit now. Daddy didn't get to see the world until he was 21. It's a great journey for them as a kid.
Along with continuing his career overseas, Millage runs an organization called the Millage People, an outreach program dedicated to basketball training and mentoring kids. In Scottsdale, Kelly Broderick, Cronkite News.
At the age of 36, Millage continues to compete. He is currently on the Koszalin in Poland and doesn't plan on stopping anytime soon.
Cronkite News is proud to be the news division of Arizona PBS. Here's what's coming up on Arizona Horizon and PBS NewsHour.
On the next Arizona Horizon, it's the anniversary of the passage of Title IX. We'll talk about the impact of the historic law on women's sports. And we'll hear from the first woman to receive a college scholarship to play football.
I'm Hari Srinivasan on the next News Hour. As Senate Republicans unveil their replacement to Obamacare, Judy Woodruff sits down with former Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. That's Thursday on the PBS NewsHour.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thank you for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Next time on The Coroner.
She looks so young.
17.
A car crash death may be murder.
Well, he was a passenger.
Bruising on her arms indicates she was pulled out.
Jane and Davey focus on the victim's boyfriend.
I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. She was seeing someone.
Another boyfriend.
And when Beth questions her friend about the case,
you knew her, didn't you?
She could be the next victim.
Slow down.
The Coroner.
Tonight at 8 on Arizona PBS. Explore new ideas and new worlds here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
Arizona PBS provides great musical performances all year long, and now we have some of the best seats to see your favorite acts live and in concert. Arizona PBS Box Office presents a backstage pass to meet world-class performers. Arizona PBS Box Office presents a chance to see exciting performances before they sell out. This month, Arizona PBS Box Office presents Grammy Award-winning Diana Krall, performing in concert at Phoenix Symphony Hall on Wednesday, August 9th.
Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World.
Your favorite PBS shows, ready to watch when you are.
anytime, any place. Find more ways to explore than ever before.
Coming soon to Arizona PBS.
Next time on the Great British Baking Show.
The last thing I want to see on this challenge is raw dough.
It's Bread Week.
He's going to be really, really picky.
And the bakers are going for broke.
Oh, no! Sorry, no, don't panic. No, don't panic.
To make some dough.
Time is up.
That is a fantastic loaf.
I want to come on your next picnic.
Friday night at 8 on Arizona PBS.
Hi, I'm Alberto Rios. This week on Books & Company, Radha Vatsal talking about her latest book, Murder Between the Lines.
Through her investigations, she learns about different things that are changing in society at the time.
Don't miss an all-new Books & Company, Friday night at 11:30 on Arizona PBS.
Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Friendship Village Tempe, a retirement community for over 30 years, offers independent living with residency options, lifelong learning classes, as well as continuing care. Information at friendshipvillageaz.com.
Whitfield Nursery, proud to support Arizona PBS, a Valley tradition since 1946. Over 200 acres of Arizona-grown trees, citrus, and palms. Complete custom design and installation. And Whitfield Nursery still does the digging. WhitfieldNursery.com.
Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, we'll take a close look at the health care plan released today by Senate Republicans. Also tonight, a law that opened up college sports programs to women is turning 45 years old. And we'll hear about the first woman to earn a football scholarship at a Division II or higher school. Those stories next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your PBS station.